Good afternoon and welcome to this academic year's Solo House Music competition. As you're all aware, the Performing Arts Department have had to do things a little differently this year with our house competitions. However, the restrictions with performing music did not stop our students from continuing their music making and entering this year's competition. We have had an outstanding 80 entries this year compared to last year's 51. So thank you to all students who have entered. The music department have enjoyed listening and watching all of your performances, and you have done your houses proud. It also just goes to show how important music is for us all, particularly in these difficult times. We have 14 performances for you this afternoon, 6 intermediate and 8 advanced. For each category, the prizes up for grabs are highly commended, runner-up and winner, as well as not forgetting a prize for the winning house with the most entries. This year, we are lucky to welcome our very own Director of Music, Mr. McKelvey, to adjudicate. After the finalists have performed, there will be a short break whilst Mr. McKelvey makes his decision. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the performances.
must go down to the seas again, to the lonely sea and the sky. And all I ask is a taller ship and a star to steer by, and the wheels kick and the wind song and the white sails shaking, and a grey mist on the sea's face, and a grey dawn breaking. I must go down to the seas again, for the call of a running tide is a wild call and a clear call that may not be denied. And all I ask is a windy day with the white clouds flying, and the flung spray and the blown spew, and the seagulls crying. I must go down to the seas again, to the vagrant gypsy life, to the wool's way and the whale's way, where the wind's like a whetted knife. And all I ask is a merry yarn from a laughing fellow rover, and quiet sleep and a sweet dream, when the long twigs over.
Right. It'll be decision time in a few minutes, but I just wanted to start by saying how thoroughly impressed I have been to watch these 14 finalists, and reaching a final of any competition is an outstanding achievement. And when you consider that 14 finalists of just over 80 entries, that's quite a hard job for my colleagues to have narrowed down those 14 finalists. So each one of those finalists should be commended very highly for their performance in today's competition. There's an outstandingly high caliber of performance from all 14 of you as well. My first award is going to be given to the house with the highest number of entries, and that this year is Elmshurst, who fielded an impressive 16 auditions for this year's competition. So congratulations to Elmshurst for the highest number of entries. I'm sure some chocolate celebrations will be making their way to you before the end of term. I'm going to start just by going through a couple of things with the intermediate section first. I'm going to say one really fantastic thing which I enjoyed about every performance, and then I'm going to hand out some winners. So this will be super brief for those of you that want to know the answers. So Joe started us off with his pizzicato polka, a characteristic opener, and you were clearly enjoying your performance. And this was a very accomplished sense of rubato and a really good sense of style overall. And you performed without the music, which got an extra tick in my book. Then we had Lisa's foray from the Requiem, which had a real purity of tone, which is just what this piece needs. A lovely assured sense of intonation, especially in your high register, which was really pleasing to hear. Then we heard Alex on the drums, very skillful around that kit. It takes a great deal of coordination and dexterity to get around that, and organisation too. And you were listening intently to the track, and I was particularly impressed with your cymbal work. That was fantastic. Then we heard Eleanor, who played César Cui's Oriental, which I felt had really wonderfully beautiful and controlled legato lines, which were carried with a lovely expression and an understanding of the sense of the mystic mood throughout the piece. Then we heard George's saxophone piece, really impressive attention to detail here and noticeable changes of dynamic, which is quite difficult to do in a big hall like this one. Really lively rhythms were really energized too, with some great articulation. And then finally in the intermediate category we heard Hamish rocking out. Was a very heavy piece, which was fantastic to hear. Lovely contrast of pieces in this intermediate category, and every note I felt of this was completely crystal clear, and there were a lot of notes, weren't there? Such an impressive solo, and there was even a moment in the middle where you decided to scratch your nose in the middle of the piece. I don't know how you found the time to do that, but lovely vibrato, great understanding of pitch bends, and lots of skill on show with real style. So in terms of prizes for the intermediate category this year, I'm going to award 2 highly commendeds, and those are going to go to Joe and to George. And a runner-up prize is going to go this year to Eleanor for her Oriental on the oboe, and this year's intermediate winner is Hamish. Congratulations to you. Hopefully you're celebrating in Walters or wherever you are around the campus. Okay, then we moved on to the advanced category, and I think it's fair to point out that at this point, I think, in an advanced category, what I was really listening for was not just about getting the notes right, but at this level, I think it's just about, as much as getting the notes right, it's about sustaining a sense of character throughout the piece. The pieces tend to be a little longer, and that sense of style or emotional intensity just needs to be carried all the way through. So I was particularly looking for that in this advanced category, which was started by Elizabeth on the viola. Nice to hear the solo instrument viola played as a solo instrument, as it often isn't. And there was a really assured sense of style and brilliant intonation throughout, especially in your commanding leaps all the way up to the top end of the instrument. and some real virtuoso moments. Then we heard Larry playing some Scarlatti at the piano, which was really hard and very exposed just in those two lines in that contrapuntal texture. Another assured understanding of style. Here, both hands independent of one another were in superb balance throughout the piece. And you chose to do it without the music, which was, again, super impressive. Then we heard Sophia's trumpet, Tico Tico Bird, which had some really characterful Latin rhythms throughout. You really brought out the melody well in that exposed high middle section, which was all built on those triadic arpeggio movements. And you controlled the slow section well and with a very accomplished ending. Then we heard Tristan at the piano playing the Janacek and Into the Mists. And I felt you really brought out lots of colour from this lovely piano here behind me and made me feel completely at ease during the stillness of your performance with a well-voiced melody and really lovely cascading arpeggiation all the way down the instrument. Then I think we heard David next. I've slightly got my notes in the wrong order. David singing Sea Fever by John Ireland. Nice developed tone across a wide range here and some nice storytelling too. A high range I thought was particularly prominent and full-toned and some real stillness in the quieter passages as well, which really drew me in as a listener. Then we heard Sophia at the piano playing the really ambitious Copland Cat and Mouse piece, really ambitious and very fast fingerwork across the instrument. There weren't very many notes of the 88 that weren't used in this piece. And I particularly enjoyed watching your hand crossing, which was done with real care and style and intelligence. And then finally, the last two pieces we heard were Gabriel's Like to the Damask Rose. And for a young teenager, I think to tackle expression in the music like this is really impressive. Your diction was crystal clear. I heard every word, and that was a really compelling performance. And I felt you had a real understanding of both the words and the music. And again, you chose to do it without the music in front of you. So extra bonus point for you. Also, Evelyn, at the end of our performing the advanced category today, chose to play that really big tour de force of Rachmaninoff's C-sharp minor prelude without the music. And it's all about those first three notes. And you really drew me in straight away with those. I felt that you really cared about the sound that you were producing on each of those chords, really sensitive and thoughtful. And those stormy sections were really vivid, and your understanding of tempo was very assured as you pulled and pushed the tempo around, really commanding rendition. So prizes-wise for the advanced category goes as follows. Again, I've been given one highly commended, but I'm going to make two. And so the highly commendeds for the advanced category this year are going to go to Sophia at the piano for your Cat and Mouse, and to Evelyn, also at the piano for your Rachmaninoff C-sharp minor prelude, highly commendeds. The runner-up this year, I felt really was going to go to someone that really moved me in the performance, and that's going to go to Gabriel for your Like to the Damask Rose. That's a runner-up prize. And then this year's winner, for me on the day, someone that carried off a really compelling performance from the start to the finish without any jeopardizing of that mood that was created throughout. This year, I think the winner for the advanced category is Tristan. So congratulations to all of you for such a wonderful afternoon of music making, which has been strange given that there are only actually 4 of us in Routh. But it's been wonderful to listen to your 14 performances. Thank you very much to everyone that's taken part. And Miss McAllis is just going to finish off.
Congratulations to all our finalists and winners this afternoon. You gave such outstanding performances, so well done to each and every one of you. A huge thank you also to Mr. McKelvey for his fantastic adjudication this afternoon. Certificates and cups for the winners will be presented to you in your houses this week. And thank you to all of you who are watching and have supported our finalists this afternoon. Seeing you all clapping on screen brought smiles all around, even for the four of us in Routh here this afternoon. And finally, to all our musicians in the school, keep music making, and we shall look forward to next year in the hope that we can all be in Routh Hall together soon. Merry Christmas to you all.